Hey there YouTube, Wrestling Optimus here, back with another epic unboxing video. And as you can see, we're doing things a little bit differently this time. Instead of staring at my ugly mug throughout the entire video, I've decided to put a little more focus on the actual figures themselves. So I hope you like the new format, and if you're new here, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more pro wrestling and action figure content. Now, let's get to the unboxing. We're going to start with a bunch of WWE basic figures that I picked up recently, including this Dominik Dijakovic, which is the first time in the line. And thankfully, it's not his T-bar gimmick. This is part of Series 119. Also part of this series is John Cena, Triple H, Randy Orton, and Lacey Evans. I basically already have elites of all those people, so this is the only one I'm getting from Series 119. Anyway, as Matt Cardona likes to say, let's let it breathe. So as most of you already know, basics tend to not come with any accessories, and they have very limited articulation. They also tend to not have the true FX face sculpts. I'll get that a little bit closer to the camera here. You can see that face sculpt's actually pretty darn good. I like the mismatched elbow pads, and his knee pads say, "Feast Your Eyes" and Dark Side. I know about Feast Your Eyes, that's his finisher in NXT, but Dark Side I'm not too familiar with. As you can see, he's got the DD for Dominik Dijakovic right there. And he's got this insignia of some type, not really sure. He's got lightning bolts on the back, and Feast Your Eyes again here on this side. Otherwise, there he is, Dominik Dijakovic. Finally got him, but probably not going to be able to use him until he leaves Mace and gets his name back. I think I've been doing ratings on a scale of 1 to 10 in my unboxing videos, and on a basic scale, this one's actually really good. I like that he has two different fists. We have an open fist so he can do promos, and a closed fist so he can punch people. The face sculpt's pretty good. The gear is pretty nice. And although he doesn't come with any accessories, most basics don't, so I'm not going to dock him for that. I'll give this a 9 on the basic scale. Next up, moving on to Series 120, we have the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne. Now, I actually already have an elite of Pete Dunne, but he's one of my favorite wrestlers in WWE, so I decided to get his basic as well. As you can see, the face is looking pretty good there, but we'll check that out once I get it open. And this series comes along with Edge, Shawn Michaels, the bald version, Karion Kross, and Scarlett. We might be getting to some of those other people later, but for now, let's let Pete Dunne breathe. Alright, so here he is. Again, another really good face sculpt, especially for a basic. He doesn't have much in the way of articulations, but they normally don't. I will say, I wish they kind of brought back the ankle articulations on the basics, because it really makes him hard to pose if the legs end up being uneven, which this one and the Dominik Dijakovic so far don't look, so that's good. Love the tattoo right here on his knee, and doesn't look like it has any of the other tattoos, but we have that same logo here of the bear. I think it's a bear at least. And then Bruiserweight on this side. Not too stiff, not too loose, pretty darn good figure, and I love Pete Dunne, so you know what? Why not? 10 out of 10. And keep in mind, this is on a basic scale, so it's not like I'm comparing this to like an Elite or an AEW figure. Next up, we got another one from Series 120. There are Elite versions of Karrion Cross out there, so it's not a first time in the line, but frankly, I haven't found him yet, so I decided to go with the basic Karrion Cross. This figure gives new meaning to basic because, I mean, there is absolutely nothing to it. It's just a bald guy in trunks. But we'll take a look at those tattoos in a minute once we get it open. I'm not going to show you the back because it's Series 120 and I just showed you with the Pete Dunne figure, so let's just let Karrion Cross here breathe. So when I was at the store, there were two other of these figures, but they both had a ton of schmutz all over the face, so this is the one I picked up, and as you can see, it's actually a pretty good likeness of him in the face sculpt there. The tattoo work is really good. as a basic. It doesn't come with any accessories or anything like that. On the side here, it says Cross, and it's got this kind of almost Finn Balor looking logo. Nothing on the other side, nothing on the knee pads or the feet. It's really just him. He does have an open fist and a closed fist, just like the other basic, so that's always good. I hate when both hands are the same, it's just dumb. Give me two different hands, especially on basics where I can't change them out. But anyway, it's a pretty good figure for being a basic, and it's somebody I don't already have in my collection. So I'll dock it for being a little too basic, just a bald guy in black trunks, and say this is an 8 out of 10. And of course, you can't have Karion Kross without Scarlett unless you're Vince McMahon and you're booking Raw. By the way, going back to Karion Kross real quick, I am so glad I got a figure of him before they released one that has that stupid gladiator gear. Anyway, over to his real-life wife, who is also a first time in the line, just like Dominick Dijakovic was. And I believe this is the Chase variant, but I could be completely wrong on that. I think the other one is in more of a bikini style, and this is the full leather bodysuit. As with the other basics, there's no accessories and no need to show you the back again, so let's just get it open and let her breathe. So my first impressions are, I really like this figure. She's got these awesome nails, giving her that kind of Catwoman vibe, and she's got a really great face sculpt. I think it looks just like her. My only gripe is I got one with a bunch of schmutz on the top. Anyway, one thing I like about the women, especially ones with high heels, is they get the ankle articulation that the men don't get. So that usually makes it a little bit easier for them to stand up, which is kind of ironic because they're in heels. Even though it's just basically a normal figure painted black, I actually like the full body black bodysuit here. You can kind of see how the boots come up to around here, and then it's just a normal body after that. But I don't know, I like it. It fits her persona, at least down in NXT. We have yet to see what she's going to look like on the main roster, but for now, another great woman to add to my collection, and I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Okay, so I don't think I've bought a 2-pack since they used to do battle packs, and now they're doing this line of championship showdowns, where they have 2 figures and they each come with a side plate that doubles as a stand for the figure. In this case, I got AJ Styles and Matt Riddle, or just Riddle, I guess, even though the side plate says Matt. And I'm really excited to get this open because this is my first Matt Riddle figure. Even though I love him so much, I just have not been able to find that elite with the headband and the cool robe and everything. So this is my first Matt Riddle, and unfortunately these are both basics, but whatever, I'm just glad to have a Riddle. As for AJ, I already have an AJ Styles, but that one's blue, this one's red, and it just gives me some extra options whenever I'm doing a pay-per-view. As you can see on the back, apparently these can work with the kids' toy belts, and they also double as a stand. The other 2 sets are Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, as well as John Morrison and Kofi Kingston, and this is part of series number 4. Apparently this goes back to their match on July 17th, 2020 on SmackDown. Alright, I guess I'll start by showing these off. They are actually pretty cool, and I don't know, maybe one day I'll spend the money to get one of them kids' belts and I'll slap these on. Alright, so I guess we'll start with AJ Styles here. As you can see, he's got the kind of red trim. He's got the phenomenal and then the 1. There's all of his tattoos. The P1 logo, and then I guess this is an homage to his time in Japan. Now, for comparison purposes, here's my current AJ Styles. As you can see, he's got the longer hair right now, and my old one has the blue trim, but they're pretty similar, and all the tattoos are pretty similar. They're both basics, so they both have the open fist and the closed fist. Yeah, one difference is my current one has a logo on the back of the elbow pad there, and this new one doesn't. But I don't know, I kind of like the face sculpt better, so I'd say it's actually a little bit better than my current one in that regard. Especially with the direct comparison, I'm gonna go 8.5 out of 10. it's a pretty good likeness of AJ, and it might actually end up replacing this guy moving forward. And then, of course, here he is, the original bro, the king of bros, Matt Riddle. He has the same hands as all the other basics so far, but check this out, he's got bare feet. And the nice thing about bare feet is they gave him ankle articulations. Nice. He does have this tattoo down here on his ankle. He also has this red tree-looking tattoo right here on his ribs. I think that's about it for the tattoos. As you can see, he's got the short style of trunks. They're in gold and purple. And that says OB back here for original bro. I think the face sculpt is really, really good, especially now that it's out of the packaging. It looks just like his dumb smiling face, and I absolutely love it. He is definitely one of the things making Raw worth watching right now. So I'm glad to have a Matt Riddle finally in my collection. This is definitely a 9.5 out of 10. And now we move on to the Elite figures. The first of which is going to be Baron Corbin. If you've seen my videos in the past, you know I'm working with a long-haired old Baron Corbin right now. So I'm really happy to get this bald Baron Corbin. I'm also really excited to check out that cloak there. And although it looks super goofy in the packaging, I'm hoping that crown looks really, really cool once we get him out. Now this is part of Series 83. It does have the True Effects graphics for the face. Here we got all of his stats. And this is part of a series with Edge, Drew McIntyre, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, and Sasha Banks. Anyway, I'm excited to get into these accessories, so let's let him breathe. I should probably start by correcting myself. This is King Corbin, not Baron Corbin. Anyway, he comes with two of these open kind of like knuckly claw hands, I guess. Because his default hands, as you can see, are open fists, and that's to grab his scepter here. As I anticipated, once I got it out of the packaging and kind of stretched it a little bit over his head, that crown looks really, really cool on him. So happy to have that awesome black crown in my collection. By the way, here is the cloak. It is the normal kind of thick plastic, but it does look really, really cool. We'll put it around him right now. What's interesting about this is instead of his arms going through, there are no sleeves. It's literally just designed to be a cloak. And then it's got this little clasp right there. And it holds on. Tilt his head back a little bit. There you go. King Corbin in his cloak. I actually really like that. But taking him out of that, Corbin is of course known for this elaborate tattoo work all across his arm. And it's once again done really, really well here. He also has some across the back of his neck. He has some under his bicep here. As for the face sculpt, I think they did a really, really great job. That looks just like him. And the gear, we got King Corbin on this side. We got End of Days on this side. And finally, here is the scepter. It's a little bent right now, so there we go. It's actually a really cool scepter, so glad to have that in my little accessory collection. Overall, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Lots of cool accessories, really good likeness. I think the only thing is maybe fill in that body a little bit because he looks way too skinny. This next one has been a long time coming. I've been using a basic Aleister Black for my Malakai Black, and now I finally get to use an Elite. And that also means I can go back to using the basic head on my custom Lance Archer figure. Anyway, back to Malakai/Aleister here. This one's awesome because it comes with not only an extra set of tattooed hands for him, but also this awesome black cloak. Can't wait to get it open. Before I do, this is part of Series 85. It included Bray Wyatt, the Elite Karion Kross, Liv Morgan, Becky Lynch, the motorcycle riding Undertaker, and of course Aleister Black here. Anyway, I'm excited to get into it, so let's let him breathe. Here he is, and again we're going to start by showing off these awesome tattooed hands. They're both open fists, as you can see, so in case he needs to cut a promo in AEW. Right now, though, he has the closed fist so he can punch people in the face. I do want to talk about this cloak real quick. I love this because it looks just like something he'd wear to the ring right now in AEW with this awesome new Malakai Black persona. It is made out of the same thick plastic as that Baron Corbin cloak, but unlike that one, this one has holes for the arms so he can kind of, wear it like a normal figure would. Really, really cool detailing here. You got all this kind of gold down the back and on the sides. It looks to be like kind of stitched up here on the hood. That's an awesome cloak. Checking out this figure, it is amazing. All those extra articulations. I don't know if you can really see it on the camera, but the texture of this leg is amazing with all these little bumps and stuff. Kind of feels like armor. We have these incredible tattoos down here. What looks like a wolf. We got an eagle, a couple more wolves. There's maybe a tiger here on his hand. All different artwork up his sleeves and across his entire chest. He's got the different Hindu gods, if I recall correctly. And of course, the giant demon across his entire back. He's got the really cool trunks here. This is just a solid figure. And of course, a really, really cool head sculpt. It looks just like him. This one is definitely getting a 9.5 out of 10. I know everybody's really excited about AEW's recent acquisitions of CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Ruby Soho, etc. But let's not forget, the first in this wave of defections from WWE was really Christian. Well, finally, I get to have a Christian in my collection, and an Elite no less, because WWE decided to put out this fan takeover collection right before he left for AEW. Anyway, if we look at the back of the box, this also includes X-Pac, Johnny Gargano, and a young Randy Orton. So, very interesting collection there, but it does have this cool Hit the Switch shirt, a couple of extra hands, and the old big gold belt. So let's get this kind of cool fan takeover packaging opened up and let him breathe. We'll start with the hands. He's got these flat ones so he can do his kind of signature looking out pose. And then he's also got a pretty rare set of hands, which is finger points. So he can point at people, I guess. Right now he's rocking the very open fists. I doubt he can actually hold a microphone with those hands. But since he's Elite, I can probably put some different hands in there in case he does need to cut a promo. By the way, I just remembered that I have the Johnny Gargano fan takeover figure because that's the one dressed like Wolverine. Anyway, here's the figure here for Christian. The face does have a pretty good likeness of him. And I'm really loving these purple logos all along his legs there. This is the Hit the Switch for his kill switch finisher on that shirt. I might put that on him for the thumbnail. And then of course, I already have one of these, but I think mine's spray painted with NWO, so it's nice to have a nice clean big gold world championship belt. For an Elite, I would say this figure's a little bit basic, but I do like the accessories. I like getting 2 extra sets of hands, and the face does look like him, so I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. We just saw 2 former WWE guys who are now in AEW, but I'm going to be using their WWE figures. However, now it's time to open up some official AEW figures, in this case from the Unmatched collection, starting with number 4 in the series, Dr. Britt Baker DMD. If you've been watching my Dynamite review videos lately, you may have noticed that I've actually been using an Emma figure from her time in WWE. That's because it kinda looks like Britt Baker, has silver gear, and black gloves just like Britt uses. But I'm so glad to finally have the official thing. So, like I said, this is part of the Unmatched collection, Series 1, and this is number 4. If we turn the box around and check out the rest of Series 1, I actually already have this LJN Cody Rhodes. There's also Dustin Rhodes, Miro, Darby Allin, and Kenny Omega. And I'm probably looking to get most of these. Per usual, we have a great shot of Britt Baker and a fake signature up there with the AEW logo on the sides, another shot of her right here, and then a different shot over here with another AEW logo. Anyway, as much as I love this new packaging, it's time to let her breathe. We'll start with the hands like we've been doing. Hers come with these black gloves so that she can do the lockjaw to people. She also has a hand here by default that is kind of the same thing, open fist, and then she has a just kind of flat hand as well. As for the figure, it has this awesome jacket, just like a lot of the other AEW figures have come with, including Darby Allin, which has this cool little clasp system. And if we kind of take it off here, we can see it's got the BB logos, and it's got the tooth logos. On the back, it's the big tooth with the BB logo. So it's a really cool jacket. Glad that came with it. And then here's her normal kind of black ring gear. It also has the BB logo right here on the chest. It's got a really cool face sculpt. I'm really liking the hair. The gear is great. These boots are fantastic. They even have a tooth logo on the side there. And the great thing about these AEW figures is they just have so many articulations. You can pose them in a million different ways. I can't wait to try and get her in the lockjaw pose with one of the other AEW women. That'll be really, really cool. So, yeah, here's Britt Baker, and I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Last but not least, I'm going to finally get to stop using my Gold Dust figure and get to use an official Dustin Rhodes figure. This one is number 5 as part of that same Series 1 in the Unmatched collection, and I am really excited to open this up. Just like the Britt Baker, we got a nice picture of Dustin here, AEW logos everywhere, another picture of Dustin, and the fake signature. There's the rest of the box, and now it's time to let him breathe. So I definitely admit that I was waiting for the blue painted Dustin over the red painted Dustin because, well, I just kind of like blue better. And I'm really glad they finally came out with one. This looks incredible, but we'll start with the hands as we've been doing. We have these open palms, and they are also gloved, just like the open fists that he has there. My only little gripe is I think those fists are also a little too big to hold a microphone. So, with the blue gloves, I can't exactly even change out the hands in case he has a promo to cut, but that's just a tiny little bit of a gripe. As you can see, this is the only figure we're looking at today that comes with an extra head. This is the kind of screaming Dustin face, and I think it looks incredible. That face paint's amazing. The look on this skin side is amazing. The head that comes with it is more of just kind of a stern, scowling face. And as we said, it has these open fists. But this, like, metallic blue is incredible. It doesn't look like the camera's really picking it up as much as I'd like, but it's got this kind of blue, almost butterfly-looking logo up here. We've got blue all the way down the legs. It's just really, really cool. The back kind of looks like a spinal column with ribs coming out to the sides. On the bottom down here with his boots, it has a camera going back to his old Gold Dust days, and it says natural on both, as well as a Texas Longhorn, because that's where he's from. Again, with these AEW figures, they just have a million articulations. I think this one's really going to scale well with my Cody, unlike that Blood Brothers double set they came out with over on Ringside, where the Dustin was just massively taller than Cody. I mean, he is taller than Cody, but not as much as those figures were showing. Either way, I think this one's really going to scale well with that Cody figure I have from Double or Nothing. So this one, great figure. Screw it. I'm just going to give it a 10 out of 10 because I love Dustin Rhodes and I love this figure. Alright, that'll do it for another epic unboxing video. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments. And be sure to check back tomorrow to see my predictions for WWE Extreme Rules. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to do all that normal YouTube stuff. Smash the like button, share with any wrestling or action figure fans you may know, subscribe to the channel, and spread the word. You can also talk to me over on Twitter at WrestlingOptimus, or see all my best figure photography over on Instagram at WrestlingOptimus. If you haven't seen my review of AEW Grand Slam from Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York, then you can check that out right here. But until next time, I've been Wrestling Optimus, and I'll catch you later.